You gotta admit, the 90s and 2000s really were the glory days for Toyota's cars and trucks, and the Avalon certainly is a great example, offering an abundance of refinement, luxury, and Lexus quality while still being humble. Nowadays, especially considering that Toyota doesn't make the Avalon anymore in favor for the new Crown, I really thought it was a great opportunity to go down memory lane and experience the second generation of the Toyota Avalon. Yes, hello and welcome to the second generation of Toyota's wonderful Avalon. If you don't know too much about the Avalon, I'll give you a bit of a rundown. Toyota introduced the first generation of the Avalon in late 1994 at the Chicago International Auto Show for 1995. Just like the Avalons of the later years, Toyota began with the same concept using the Camry platform, in this case the third gen Camry, while slightly elongating it and using the V6 from the Camry SE, XLE, and the Lexus ES300. Hopefully soon we'll be able to take a look at the first generation Avalon, but those ran until the 1999 model year. And Toyota replaced the first gen with the bigger, more luxurious, and more powerful second gen Avalon for the 2000 model year. Of course, the Avalon has always been an American name for Toyota, but Toyota did sell this vehicle in Japan as the Pronard. Toyota marketed the Pronard to be underneath the Aristo, which was based on the GS300, and also be larger than the smaller Verosa and Altezza. In technical terms, these second gens are called the XX20 generation Avalon. Something I find special about the first and second gen Avalon, the classic era of Avalon, is that Toyota gave consumers the option of choosing a bench seat in the front, giving this 6-passenger capability. You'll really never see a sedan nowadays that will give you 6-passenger seating. This one unfortunately does not have the front bench seat, but the Avalons that do have the front bench have a column shift for the transmission. Toyota refreshed the Avalon for the 2003 model year and gave it slightly different headlights, a different grille, different tail lights, different wheel options, and also a little bit more technology inside. I personally would say that's the Avalon to get, even though this is a great car. These ran until the 2004 model year, and then Toyota replaced them with the even larger third generation Avalon in 2005. If you want to learn about the third gen Avalon, I have a video up here. Now this Avalon in particular has been driven by my good friends Nick and David for the past few years, but I would consider this video to be her retirement party. We've all fondly given this car the name Ava because she's an Avalon. In this case, she's a 2000 Avalon XLS in black. Ava has been my press car for the past few days as I've been polishing the paint and pampering her, getting her ready for this video. She is far from new, but she does have a lot of charm to her, which is why I like Ava. Ava right here is sitting at just about 143,000 miles, and in Toyota speak, that really isn't much. These things can easily do 400,000 miles with minimal maintenance as soon as you replace the timing belt. Toyota was very simple when it came to trim levels for the Avalon in 2000. You could only choose between the XL for $25,650 or the XLS like this one for $30,210. If you were looking at one of these Avalons back in the day, I would imagine that you'd also be looking at things like the Nissan Maxima, the Ford Taurus, maybe even the Crown Victoria, Buick LeSabre, Chevy Lumina, Dodge Intrepid, and many other mid-size, near-executive, near-luxury sedans. Something else that we're losing nowadays is proper displacement in our large sedans. This one has a very respectable V6 under the hood that's also shared with an abundance of Toyota products. Old Toyotas really will never give you a doubt in terms of reliability, and this V6 under the hood of the Avalon really does not disappoint. Introducing the 1MZ FE, a 3-liter dual overhead cam V6 from Toyota. This engine was also shared with vehicles such as the Camry V6, the ES300 from Lexus, the Toyota Sienna, the Toyota Highlander, the Lexus RX300, and many other vehicles stateside and abroad as well. This engine really made itself known. It now pushes out 220 horsepower and 210 pound-feet of torque. Power only goes to the front wheels in the Avalon, just like its main competitors, and a 4-speed automatic transmission. Thankfully, in this case, compared to a lot of the other 4-speeds we've seen, this is a good transmission. In terms of MPGs, this is what also really makes the Avalon. Toyota rated this at 21 in the city, 29 on the highway, and a combined rating of 25. Those numbers should be pretty accurate because the 1MZ really doesn't ask for much to put power down. Just like many other old Toyotas, the 1MZ is part of Toyota's catalog of many reliable engines. The 1MZ under the hood of the Avalon and everything else uses a timing belt. That's the main thing with this. You have to make sure you replace it every 7 years or 100,000 miles. It's kind of one of those once-in-a-lifetime type of things, but it really does pay off. Otherwise, oil changes, spark plugs, everything is pretty straightforward, and these things are made to do 500,000 miles. Otherwise, you just have to be mindful of oil leaks at higher mileage, mainly from the valve cover gaskets and some other little O-rings and seals, but these things, again, are really bulletproof. Again, back in the day, the Avalon was considered a full-size, mid-size sedan to compete with the Taurus and other bigger sedans. This thing is sitting at 192 inches long, making it 3 inches longer than a Camry of the same time, but 4 inches shorter than the Lexus LS400. This XLS model is riding on these 16-inch alloy wheels. Most of these pre-facelift models will have these wheels, but I will acknowledge on the XL, you could get steel wheels and hubcaps on those. To get into the trunk of your Avalon, you could either use the key right here and just pop it like this, or you could use the remote if you had the key fob, or push the button inside the Avalon. But this reveals 15.9 cubic feet of volume. We have a spare tire. It is a full size, but it's on a steel wheel. Unfortunately, you can actually kidnap someone, and it would be quite unpleasant on a hot day like today because there isn't a child lock latch. The rear seat does fold down in one piece, and Toyota also provides us with a pass-through as well. Toyota also advertised the Avalon to tow on their press release, but Toyota rated the Avalon to tow 2,000 pounds.
You're about to see an unusual race. 3 European performance sedans against the all-new Toyota Cressida.
Go get him, James.
The Cressida is a luxury car with limousine-style comfort and features, and the new Cressida's independent suspension and electronically fuel-injected twin-cam 6 fits right in with its European counterparts. The Toyota Cressida. It's up with the best of them in every way but one. Price.
Did we win, James? By about $15,000, sir.
Now that we are thankfully in the shade, we can talk about the very roomy rear seat of the second-gen Avalon. You can see, especially compared to the Camry, how much room I have. I'm 5'9" and I have so much room. I have maybe 6-7 inches of legroom. I can fit my feet under the seat. I can hear Goose right now. Geese. Headroom is great because this really has a tall and proper shape to it, which I like. I also feel really comfortable because the rear seat has a naturally reclined position. The third gen Avalon right after this actually gave you the ability to recline the rear seat manually. But I really have no complaints about the rear seat of this car. It is really squishy, really soft. Of course, this is 2000, so we don't have crazy things like heated rear seats in this, but we do have air vents back here, part of the climate control, and the Avalon in this generation was one of the first, if not the first car to include a 100-watt power inverter. Unfortunately, unlike the Lexus models, we don't have ashtrays for the rear passengers, but I really do love the choices of materials. Everything feels nice. I find it pretty neat and proper that Toyota includes these reading lights above each person's head. Thankfully, there is a center armrest, which is actually pretty thick, pretty padded. It also reveals the pass-through for the rear seat, but you can also see some storage with 2 cup holders that pop out. So it's this whole little tray compartment. You can also keep this closed and down like a proper luxury sedan and have the cup holders in a fixed position as well. But Toyota really did think of it all in the back seat of the Avalon. I now welcome you to the driving experience of Miss Ava, the second generation Toyota Avalon. I didn't close the door properly. First of all, because it is a hot day, we don't have any push button start, smart key nonsense. This is the key that we have. I put this tape so I don't lose the key while I have Ava. All we have to do is just put the key in the ignition and twist and listen to the 1MZ go. So dependable. But yes, I can turn on the dual zone climate control. Unfortunately, because this car, some of the things that make this car feel old are the minor electrical quirks. At least to me, they're minor. The first thing is, with this dual zone climate control, it does work, and the AC does work, and it's ice cold, but it doesn't blow out of the face vents. It only blows out of the defrosting vents. So I feel like maybe that's just the controller itself. Since I'm in the center of the car, I guess, you can see this has the JBL sound system in this XLS model. This one has a CD changer and a tape deck. No complaints on my behalf. It's very easy to switch this out if you want something with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Now, as we're about to set sail, we can talk about this 4-spoke leather-wrapped steering wheel. It is pretty simple because this is the early 2000s, and you'll see that this doesn't have too many buttons on the wheel. You only have the buttons for the cruise control on the right side. Behind the steering wheel though, on the left side, we do have automatic headlights, but the wipers are not rain sensing automatic, which is totally fine. When you drive this one as well, you start to see some of the things that are old. It needs suspension, it clunks around, and it's very soft, but it still just drives fine. It's a really nice car to drive even still, because the seats are very comfortable. I can only imagine how nice this car felt like when it was new, but it's already nice now. I'm pretty isolated from the road. Also, for being a normal Toyota sedan, it is pretty quiet. Road noise is at a low. Wind noise is also at a reasonable low as well, especially at higher speeds. It's just a great all-around car. I'll turn off AC. There's another Avalon right there. That one is a facelift. It has running lights. It's smooth. The engine is very quiet. You really won't hear the powertrain too much in this car. This car really isn't for speeding. It's just a great car to drive across country. The steering is nice and effortless. It is just the brakes. We can see how the turning circle is. Front wheel drive, nice tight turning circle. You know, it's actually quick. It gets up and gets out of its own way. I didn't floor it just because this is probably, I don't know, I'm assuming this is probably the first time that the car has been driven aggressively. It just gives you great acceleration, good response, good overall feedback. It handles well. It is based on the Camry. Again, forgive the brakes, but it does handle well. Not like a tight, sporty well, but it just holds the road in a comforting, securing fashion. But again, it's just really great bones. While we're sitting again, we can just observe how nice the interior is of this car, especially when it was new. I've always been fond of the interior of the older Avalons, especially the second gen, because of this dash that just flows through. It's very ahead of its time because people are doing that now. In facelift models, the navigation system would be up there actually, but right now we have it as a trip computer and a little bit of a information display. The gauges are very easy and legible in the Avalon. There's not much to them. We just have a coolant gauge, tachometer, speedometer, and then the fuel gauge. It's smooth power. The transmission shifts smooth even though it is a 4-speed. This thing, if it had new motor mounts, new rubber things, it'd really be just feel great to drive. I don't know what bushing that would be. The Avalon does have a lot of surprising creature comforts for the era as well. We have garage door home link, we have an auto dimming rearview mirror, we have a nicely sized sunroof. There's a lot of things in this car that would make it desirable. AC off. Good job! I mean, it's fine. When you're putting the car through a stress test scenario like this, of course, it's not gonna feel quick. When you're merging, getting on the highway, or passing people, I feel like this is adequate power. This is about the same power as my Acura CL as well, so it's fine. The seats in the Avalon are very comfortable as well. You could drive this thing all day and have minimal fatigue. They both offer full range of power adjustment, but the driver's seat even offers power lumbar. I really like that the passenger seat can go up and down as well, so it's not just a floorway like how Honda and Acura did it. On this bumpier road, you can see the Avalon really does soak up the bumps pretty well. This thing, because it's the shocks are kind of worn on it, it's a little bit funny. It's bouncing and floating around everywhere, but it makes the ride even softer, and I'm even more isolated from the road. If you're just tootling around with this car, not so bad. It's very quiet. That's the main thing with this. The drivetrain is very muted. Even under hard acceleration, it's not that loud. The steering is pretty light. It's not variable or anything like that, but it offers effortless steering. You could, do any abrupt lane change, whatever you need to do. The Avalon is just great at everything. I will admit, the Cressida is like one of my dream cars, personally the 90s one, not the 80s one like how everyone wants. So one day, hopefully, I'll either own or review an 89 to 92 or 93 Toyota Cressida. I know that's off topic, and we're talking about the Avalon, but just Toyota sedans, they're really good. You really can't go wrong with it. And that, my friends, concludes our time with Miss Ava today. It's really been a pleasure to drive this car. Of course, it's nothing remarkable, but it's very comfortable. It will start every day as soon as the battery is charged. And by the end of this video, I really do hope that you learned a little bit more about Toyota's second generation Avalon. Again, special shout out and thanks to David, Nick, and their family for letting us take a look at Ava today. Before I really start melting in the sun, I appreciate you watching this video. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, peeps.